Today, we're going to be reviewing one of the most controversial movies in aviation, the movie Flight, where Denzel Washington gives us a stellar performance. So I'm going to shoot you straight. What's fact and fiction in the industry? So let's start watching.
Let's go!
Okay, so for scenes before this, I cut this out because the movie starts out with him doing drugs and alcohol, and then the next scene, we're just not ready for it. It's him in the uniform. I got to go right off the bat. Very unrealistic, although I can't say it's never happened. They at least did good with his uniform here because, like, a lot of times I'll watch movies and they don't even do the stripes right. He's got the epaulets on his jacket. He's got four. He's a captain. He's got the correct hat, although they don't see his badge, which would be normally on a lanyard hanging around. But other than that, that's just me nitpicking. Okay, stormy day in Atlanta. Very realistic, especially in the summertime. Okay, this might be the most unrealistic part of all. It's the captain doing the walk around. So almost always the first officer does the walk around. Sometimes captains will offer to do the walk around, but when it's raining like that, that is literally, I've never seen that happen. Oh, and he slipped. Maybe realistic too. Oh my gosh, that's the most realistic part. Unrealistic, I guess. It's right there. At first, he has to, all the passengers, normally when you're right here walking in the jet bridge, there's not this clear line waiting for you. You have to, do that polite little smile like, oh, excuse me, can I get by? Is that okay if I go fly my plane?
Again, walk around is complete. Margaret? Yeah, could you give me a cup of coffee, black, lots of sugar, and a couple of aspirins, okay, sweetie? Mm-hmm. We've flown together before? I don't think so, sir. You sure? Yeah, Ken Evans. Whitaker.
Okay, that's very realistic. Get up to the flight deck. The flight attendants are going to ask you what you want. It's pretty standard. And then he looks over and asks if they've flown together before. They haven't even shown his face. Sometimes years later, and you look at him, you look familiar, like, have we flown together before? So, nowadays you can look everything up, but back then it'd be much harder to know for sure.
Oxygen check. Checks. You want to hit? No, thank you, sir. Sure? Yes, sir.
Okay, so far this is realistic. The required way to check the oxygen does not require you to pull it out. However, it's not like nobody says you can't.
No one told me not to.
So the fact that he hits the oxygen like this and then offers the first officer, I would make the same face he's making right now if somebody offered me a hit of oxygen right before a flight. Didn't look like he put that back properly. Just storing those oxygen masks is very hard.
Sir, it's 8:50. Is it? All right, well, let's push. I got a great on-time record. How you feeling today, sir? A little tired. A quick turnaround for me. 10 turns in 3 days. Off tomorrow.
So to me right there, he's fishing to see how he's feeling. He asks, how are you feeling today? He's kind of putting it out there to see. And this is what they tell you to do. If you find somebody that you fly with, before you start accusing them, what you're supposed to say is, I think you need to call in sick right away. If you're not sure, and you're giving them their chance to walk off and to go.
All right, here we go.
Engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed's alive both sides. 80 knots, cross-check.
We don't really say airspeed alive. That's a general aviation term when you call the airspeed alive. The first call after you say set thrust set is typically 80 knots. So they say 80 knots cross-check, but the first officer would say 80 knots, and Captain Whitaker here should say check.
Nothing like a little 30-knot crosswind to exercise the old sphincter muscle.
V1 and rotate.
He calls V1 about 10 knots short. That's the incorrect time to call that.
227 on departure, radar contact, true left heading 170, climb, maintain 900,000.
Roger that, left 170, climb and maintain 900,000.
Okay, nitpicking, but you always read your call sign back at the end. So if their call sign is AirTran, you're going to say left 170, climb to 900,000, AirTran 170. You always finish with your call sign. So that was, not to say that doesn't happen, but it should be done. Real quick, let's hear from today's sponsor before I give you the rest of my take. Has finding the right doctor ever felt overwhelming to you? For me, it always felt like flying standby. You're hoping for a seat, but you really never know what you're going to get. Endless hold music, weeks of waiting, and half the time, you don't even know if they'll take your insurance. Small issues can turn into emergencies if you let them, and I like to make sure my health is a priority. That's why I tried ZocDoc, the sponsor of today's video. Think of ZocDoc as your healthcare co-pilot. I typed in what I needed, filtered by my insurance, and within a couple of minutes, I booked an appointment with a primary care physician. What I really love about ZocDoc is the flexibility it gives you. You can see reviews from other patients, compare providers across more than 100,000 doctors and specialists, and book appointments instantly. Sometimes you can find appointments for the same day. It's simple, reliable, and takes out all the guesswork of healthcare. I wanted to find a doctor who focused on functional medicine, a doctor who likes treating the root causes, not just symptoms. And that's exactly what I found using ZocDoc. And the best part, ZocDoc is completely free for patients. No hidden fees and no surprise charges. So if you're ready to stop flying blind when it comes to your health, check out ZocDoc and find a doctor who actually gets you. And now, back to the video.
We got some rough chop, I'd say moderate to... I'd say severe turbulence, definitely severe turbulence.
Okay, not exactly correct, moderate to severe, because remember, severe turbulence is when you lose complete control and you're unable to control the aircraft. We can thank Captain Steve for bringing us that definition.
Don't want autopilot, I'm flying today.
Delta 227, Orlando departure.
But this is weird right here. He went to reach for the autopilot and he told him no autopilot. It's captain's discretion. Let's review this real quick. So we have pilot flying, pilot monitoring. Pilot flying gets to choose when they want the autopilot on. The autopilot can stay off all the way up till you get to RVSM airspace. But that's when it's only legally required. But you are allowed, it is your prerogative to hand fly this. So the fact that he automatically reached up there would be weird. He said, no autopilot today, I'm hand flying it. He would normally say, hey, don't you want the autopilot on? In this situation, I think it'd probably be a good idea to have the autopilot on.
We're approaching our maximum airspeed. Damn right, we need the speed to punch through this crap. Let's work with me.
You're overspeeding, sir.
Trying to get out of this shitty air.
This looks like they're flying the space shuttle, how fast this is going, the clouds. It just doesn't look like that to me.
What are you doing?
Leveling off.
What?
See that little sliver of black between those two ugly clouds? That's a pocket of smooth air squatting right over Kissimmee. Gonna thread the needle.
Okay, to even level off here is illegal. You have to maintain, when you're in assigned a climb or a descent, you have to do a minimum of 500 feet unless you advise ATC and ask and get accepted or approved to do less than that. So the fact that he's gonna just level off and under a pocket of air, they're already in the clouds. So that makes no sense. Whatever radars he's painting, he has no idea how high up or down those clouds are. This doesn't make much sense to me to try and level off and go under if you don't have a visual reference.
Turn us right 30 degrees.
Departure Southjet 227. We need to deviate 30 degrees, right?
For weather.
For weather.
They already know it's for weather.
Right approved. Report back on course.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so they said 30 degrees right, approved, report back on course. That's very normal. That's a normal call. Hey, you cleared up to 30 degrees right, and you have to tell them once you feel good and you're going, you tell them when you're back on course.
Orlando, you need to check your book, see your transponder indicates you're descending.
Departure, this is Southjet 227. We're experiencing some rough air, encountering some severe downdrafts. We're in our climb now.
So he's telling them to lie. That's kind of ridiculous to tell them to lie that we're climbing. You just, at that point, just ask for the level off. They'll probably give it to you. So I don't understand, especially if you could say it's urgent. And if you had to, you could declare an emergency. It's weird to lie to them about your altitude for no reason when they'd probably help you out.
Sir, look at your airspeed. You're way too fast for this rough air.
I'm right on the line. Settle down.
He's not even on the line. So for him to say he's on the line is not even true. He had about 20 knots there. Speed is fine. In his trend vector, you see this green line right here. That's his trend vector. That means their plane is actually slowing down. The red up here is called the barber poles. And that means you're the structural limit of the aircraft. That line will move depending on your altitude and, a couple other factors. Okay, so that's not very realistic. When he takes the power and pushes it up, if you're in a climb, you're already going full speed. Oh, however, he had leveled off, so maybe he had to pull the power back. But the whole thing looks like you're up in a climb, but now he's leveling off to get under this apparent weather. Okay, now we're back in a climb. Okay, it's a breakout. Looks pretty normal.
Thank God that's over. We're going to start descending any second now.
Well, looks like you'll need to wake him up.
Southjet 227, Atlanta Center, descend and maintain flight level 300.
Descend and maintain flight level 300, subject 227.
Whoa. It's pulling left hard, sir.
Whew. So that kind of dip is not very realistic to just dip straight down like that.
I have no control on my side. No control at all, sir.
Lost hydraulics. Center, this is Southjet 227. We've lost our...
Okay, so real quick, this was loosely apparently based on Alaska Flight 261 that crashed off the coast of California, where a jack screw came stripped out and couldn't hold the elevator in the correct position and ended up flipping over and diving down. So again, this isn't based off anything particular, but it's a loose representation from what I've been told.
Vertical control. We're going to need drag. I want you to throw out everything you got. The speed brakes, the gear, everything.
Here, speed brake.
Atlanta.
Couple things here. MD-80, as far as I'm aware, does not have fuel jettison. That means you can dump your fuel. And I don't know what all the point of throwing the gear down and stuff when you can't control the airplane. I mean, again, maybe if you're getting drag on a different side.
Center, this is Southjet 227. We're in an uncontrolled dive descending out of 21,000.
I'll see on the right side here. So that means they're going about 6,000 feet a minute. And that's, they're in, see, this is what I was talking about before, right here, 285, they're in the barber poles. So you're structurally past the limit of what's technically considered safe.
We're declaring an emergency. We've dumped our fuel. We got a jam stabilizer or something. We need a block of altitude to work the problem and are heading to the nearest airport.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good call. Declaring an emergency. You know, normally though, you'd say mayday, mayday, mayday in this point. There's two types of emergencies pilots have. You have a mayday, 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 and a pan, 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 pan. Really, the only difference between that two is a mayday, mayday, mayday means that the crash is imminent.
Okay, got it. Nothing, no control. Oh no, we're diving again.
All right, okay. Look, I can't let go of my side. See if you can reach my side.
Yeah, so that to me looks like they're doing the roller pitch disconnect. And so look at that corner though they're coming into. That's not very good. They got the barber poles up on below, barber poles on top.
I can't reach it, sir.
It's a hell of a day to be hungover.
Margaret!
Okay, asking the flight attendant for help. I guess this could be considered using all available resources.
Calm down. Get strapped into the jump seat there. I need you to do something for me.
We're at 12 knots.
Southjet 227 Atlanta, fuel dump is approved.
Thank you.
Can't be worrying about bags right now.
See nothing but acid.
Evan, listen to me. When I say I want you to retract the flaps, retract the gear, trim us nose down, okay? But everything's going to be opposite, so make sure you trim us nose down.
Hey, trim down. What are you gonna do?
Margaret, when I tell you I want you to push these forward, full power, full throttle, can you do that? Okay, when I tell you...
Wait, sir. What are we doing? Why would I trim down?
We're going to roll it, okay?
What do you mean roll
We
it?
got to do something to stop
Okay, he's
this
rolling
dive.
it at
Margaret,
8,000 and it's already dipped down.
Say I love you.
Doesn't look
Trevor.
promising,
Black
I'll tell you
box, say
that.
I love you, Trevor.
I love you, Trevor. You be a good boy. Mommy loves you.
Okay, here we go. I've got control.
Oh, that would be scary.
Margaret, power. Gear up.
Nope, didn't get the last piece of gear up. It's not the kind of Top Gun inverted you want to hear.
Fire the left engine.
Put it out.
Okay, that makes no sense. Why would you have a fire in the left engine for what? Just upside down? I mean, maybe a mechanic or anybody else could jump in here, but I really don't think that you would randomly just get a fire because you flipped upside down. Like, if anything, the fuel would be starved out. Maybe I don't think the engine, I think the engine would run just as fine as normal.
I'm going to set it down there.
Roger 227.
Oh no! Fire in the right now.
Evan, we're coming back around.
Okay, so here's the thing. He just killed both fires in either engine. When you pull the bottles, that cuts off hydraulics, that cuts off fuel, that cuts off everything. That means both those engines are now dead. So at this point, this is the most unrealistic part. They didn't even have to do that. There was no need to give engine. There's already enough crazy stuff going on. There was no need to throw two engine fires at the same time to add this, because it was already enough to deal with a flight control issue.
Margaret, full power.
Okay, this is like, what is this? A freaking game out of like Sonic the Hedgehog. The plane is on fire. You pull the fire handles, engine's done. So far, I'm giving it a grade of like 8. At this point, it had been up to like a high 9s. Like I give it like a 9.5 on being realistic, even giving you a couple things. But once you do this, you dropped your score probably down to like high 7s.
Are we gliding?
So here's the question. Why is it still gliding? Why is I wonder what happened with the hydraulics or the flight controls. Why is it now flying perfectly level?
Brace.
10.
Brace for impact.
Thankfully, I've never had to experience a plane crash, so I don't know how realistic that is at the end. Overall, very good score. At the end of the day, I guess I'll give it a realistic. I'll give it, as far as the technical standpoint, I'll give it an 8.2, an 8.5. But when it comes to the drug and alcohol and doing that kind of stuff while you're flying, I'm going to give it a 1. That's the video for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in.